Well, the FBI confirms agents are investigating a possible link between the U.S. Army lab in neighboring Utah and the anthrax spores that have killed 5 people.
Stories about anthrax at the Dugway Proving Grounds in Utah are now making national news around the country, but the Channel 8 I-Team reported about this possible connection last month. And George Knapp is here with an update on his exclusive story.
Well, we take no pleasure this time around in saying we told you so, but it now appears the FBI is zeroing in on the source of the anthrax that's been mailed out across the country, and it's entirely possible that the Army base at Dugway, Utah is involved in some way. When we were in Utah last month, we were detained twice and were threatened with arrest while trying to get video of the Dugway facilities. Perhaps we now know why the Army was so jittery. Military watchdogs say it's been tough over the years getting a straight story out of the Army's Dugway Proving Grounds. The sprawling Utah facility has been home to open-air testing of the worst poisons known to man and nature. In the late 60s, thousands of sheep around the base died horrible deaths after being exposed to nerve agents. For 30 years, the Army denied any involvement, even after it had paid off the ranchers. Inside the secret labs at Dugway is a deep-freeze treasure trove of deadly agents, dubbed Pandora's Icebox.
Anthrax went out there?
Yes.
Black plague?
The plague, yes. Yes, many others. Q fever, Lassa fever. There's a potpourri of pathogens.
The FBI confirms that its agents are inside Dugway, interviewing Army scientists about their stash of anthrax. The Army has now admitted that, contrary to earlier statements, it still makes anthrax at Dugway, including weapons-grade anthrax, milled into a fine powder and virtually identical to that which was sent to members of Congress. A comparison of Dugway anthrax to that in the congressional letters found 50 out of 50 identical genetic markers. And the FBI now knows Dugway has frequently transported its anthrax to other facilities around the country, meaning many other persons could have gained access to it. The Army says all of the anthrax at Dugway is accounted for, but those most familiar with the base have reason to be skeptical.
Dugway has assured us over the years that they do not produce pathogens like anthrax and others. And now this looks pretty contradictory, that in fact they have been culturing anthrax for their own use. I think in the end it's critical that there be some sort of independent oversight of facilities like this, that they can't be simply allowed to operate in complete secrecy.
The FBI says it will be at Dugway, quote, for a while. But the feds emphasize they're also looking at other American labs that might have had access to anthrax. The production of weapons-grade anthrax at an Army lab is a huge issue for another reason as well. At face value, it seems to come very close to violating international treaties which ban the production of such agents. Of course, the U.S. is a signatory to those treaties.
And the Army says it can account for all the anthrax it had at Dugway. Anything to back that information up?
Well, there is information to the contrary. The Washington Post says it has obtained records showing discrepancies between what Dugway shipped out and what it got back. We said it back in November when we first reported this story. In light of all the bad stuff that was put into the ecosystem at Dugway, it would be an interesting case of like biochemical karma if it turned out the killer anthrax could be linked to material that our own government had produced. We'll keep you posted on this.
Thanks very much, George.
Anytime someone